Guys, we are talking about Squid Game today. Yes, I was just pretending to be an absolute goddamn murderous, beautiful little doll. Chinese doll then, but yes, Squid Game, I want to talk all about it. Now, I have seen the show completely to the end, plus I've seen 3 more episodes, again, kind of thing, just to refresh my mind, just to see the things that I didn't quite see before, especially when it comes to 001, the old man. I really wanted to, geez, that's getting annoying, isn't it? I really wanted to actually find out a little more about the old man. Music has stopped on my computer. So yeah, I've got a bunch of web pages open, and we're going to talk all about my experience with it, Easter eggs, and the actors, and things you might not have noticed. If this sounds interesting, we're doing videos every single day in this channel. Just no junk mail, everybody. That'd be great, okay? Channel 2 and, of course, Channel 1. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Let's get straight into the Squid Game. All right? Now, this, of course, is a bunch of actors that work in this magnificent show. Now, here's what the cast of Squid Game look like on the show versus in real life. I've just got a bunch of web pages to quickly browse, right? There are some interesting photos of what the cast look like when they're not actually in the show compared to when they were in the show. So there's the 2 main ones, I guess you could say. All right, the last two men standing. Whoops! If you haven't seen this show already, spoilers ahead. Obviously, I should have said that. Obviously, at this point, you should know by now, right? There we go. That's what she looks like. North Korean defector, alright? The old man, 001. Now look, I will just say disclaimer that I won't be actually trying to pronounce their names, whether it be their actual actor name or their actual real name. Does that make sense? Actor name as in the name that they have in the show, or their real names, because, you know, I'm not from South Korea or North Korea. Thank goodness, not North Korea. But yes, I will show you a map of where Korea is towards, or where Korea and North Korea are on the Earth, kind of thing. So I'll show you that in a second. But yes, I'm not from the area, so I'm not even going to attempt it. Otherwise, I'm going to absolute goddamn butcher it. John Duck-soo, wasn't that his name? I'll give that one an attempt. But that's what he looks like. All right. Look at how cool Ali Abdul. I tried his name then. All right, there we go. How cool does this guy look? He looks nothing like the overly nice guy with a slight mental disability. He should have been smarter. He should have known that he was getting played all along, but he didn't, and that was his downfall. But he looks like an absolute cool dude in real life. Now she is an absolute crazy motherfucker in this show. It just goes to show how good of an actress she is. And we also do get to see some South Korean booby in this show, thanks to her. All right? She's a cool girl. Rather annoying at times, but she's cool. There is the cop, all right, the police officer. We've got the guy who gets everyone in the show playing that first game of trying to flip the red paper or the blue paper kind of thing, the businessman. And of course, we've got the front man. But is he really the front man? When there's another front man, obviously, there's her as well. All right. There's that guy that got shot and killed. Oh, there's him smiling. Is the front man really the front man? I think no. There is actually a fronter man. And obviously, you guys know who I'm talking about at this point. But if you don't, we'll talk about it in a second, okay? Then, of course, we've got... Well, this is how popular the show's become. I've just got a bunch of web pages and articles ready to just quickly show you guys. This is how popular it has become. You can now buy the mask off of AliExpress. Now, there are 3 different versions, all right? You got the triangle, square, and circle. And it's always shocked me about this show is that all I need is an X in that mix. And now you've got the PlayStation, all right? That is exactly what the PlayStation buttons are. Triangle, circle, X, square. All right, there's just no X in the show. Otherwise, I'm sure Sony would have had something to say about this show, something negative, right? Where's our royalty checks? But anyway, you can buy the masks, and they're pretty cheap. Let's see how much they are. 78 cents? Really? Fuck, that's actually pretty cheap. What the hell? Whoop, what have we done there? Forget that. Okay, what's the next one? where to get Squid Game costumes, tracksuits, and masks. Well, yeah, this is probably the one I wanted to show you. So you can actually buy the whole outfits that they had, right? Maybe not every single one of them, but I mean, Halloween is coming. And you can buy, apparently, these things. That's actually not too bad. Shit. Once again, there are those masks. All right, and there's the frontman mask. You can actually get these things on Amazon right now. And you can even get the red light, green light doll outfit. Jesus, man. Imagine seeing that shit walk past you in the street. And your automatic thought would be to fucking stand still and don't move, right? As soon as she's looking at you, like, can I move yet? Yeah, that's a freaky little bitch. And it's surprising. You can even buy, Jesus Christ, you can even buy the cards. But it's really surprising to me that everyone that hasn't seen the show, or even people that have seen the show, they always reference the doll. The doll, I mean, she's only in the first episode. Technically in the last one too, because the last fight between the two, right? They're in the exact same courtyard of the first episode, and the doll's in the background. But I mean, she really only makes one appearance in that first episode, right? One significant appearance, yet that's all that anyone can talk about. It was a very good first episode. Very shocking. But yeah, now you can even buy the business cards. And I will talk about this in a second, because the business cards had an actual number on the card that they had to change. The number was an actual real number in South Korea. And people that owned these numbers were actually getting called, early hours in the morning, 1,000 calls a day kind of thing. People actually wanting to actually join the show, or people actually wanting to become a part of Squid Game. Like, they've seen the fucking show, right? They've seen that only one possible person can win this show. All right, this game. Everyone else gets brutally murdered, but people in real life still call this number, and it reaches a real person because they want to join the show, because they want to join the game, right? Essentially, what you're asking for is to be fucking murdered at this point, because you know what's going to happen, right? Only one can win, and it's the odds aren't for you. They're not for you. They're against you. All right. I know I sound like little Mr. Negative right now, but that's what the odds are. They're completely against you. All right. Now, going to the next one. So this is where North Korea is, South Korea, and China. Now, if you see it on the bottom right, there's a sneaky little bit of Japan there. All right, sneaky little bit of Japan, but that's essentially where South Korea is. This is where the show was based and actually where it was filmed. All right, there we go. Next to North Korea, and Russia is just on the very, very top. But yeah, Seoul, Korea. Seoul in South Korea. All right, that's where the show was filmed, around that area. Get ready for this. A real life Squid Game is set to begin this month in South Korea. What? Have I read that right? Hang on, let's just read a little more. If you crazy people that are actually calling number, is it now time to move to South Korea because the show's getting filmed there, or some sort of real life thing's getting filmed there, or not filmed but actually done there? Well, maybe. But maybe you could go to Dubai as well. I'll show that in a second, right? So a magnificently murder-free competition inspired by Netflix's Squid Game is coming to a town in Korea. So long as pandemic restrictions allow it, right? So there you go. The game's actually coming to South Korea. But like I said, it's also coming to Abu Dhabi. All right? Dubai. Just next to Dubai. The United Arab Emirates. All right? My cousin Anthony used to live in Abu Dhabi. I've been to Dubai. Great city. They were building that huge tower. What's that called? The world's biggest tower? The world's biggest building. It was like half complete when I was there. Very interesting. But yeah, you can actually go to and play on these games, right? I mean, they're not going to be murderous, thank goodness. Obviously fucking illegal, highly illegal, right? But you can actually be a part of the games that were actually played. They're going to be doing the actual games. I'm sure the tug of war fucking area and the glass bridge type situation won't be as dangerous as the TV series. But I mean, they're going to be reenacting all of the things pretty much. Interesting. Quick question: do you think the secret government people of the world, the secret billionaires, the trillionaires, Do you think that this kind of game actually exists in real life, or has existed in real life at some point? Maybe. Think about it. Think about it. Truth is stranger than fiction. It's a possibility, right? But anyway, I found this a really interesting little read. Sydney Primary School has issued warnings to parents over Netflix's Squid Game series. What? What could this mean? So a Sydney primary school has asked parents to stop their children from watching the popular Netflix series Squid Game over concerns that they actually may take some inspiration from the screen to the playground. So, we've got a couple of kids here, one's playing the fucking doll and the rest are running and stopping, playing red light, green light. There's a kid in the background doing that fucking sound. Hang on, where is it? So there's a kid in the background singing that song, and then there's another kid who's got like the sticks or the guns or something, Fuck. This sounds like an American town with American kids bringing real guns, right? Not an Australian problem. This would be an American problem, but anyway, stopping that for a second and going back to this. So yeah, primary school teachers absolutely concerned. Is it a legitimate threat? Well, maybe. Kids being kids, you never know. All right. Now, English Council urges parents not to allow children to watch Squid Game, so it is a consistent possibility in many different countries. This is England and Australia so far, so yeah, apparently it's a legitimate threat, potentially, so they reckon. How to play every game from Squid Game and not die. Well, there's an interesting website, interesting article from this website called Wired, and I won't read it all, but if you want, you could read that, right? And there's a bunch of suggestions on how to win every game and not be killed, right? Tug of war, marbles. So it's giving all these tips. So well, I'm guessing the people that are going to be playing this game legitimately, right, on Abu Dhabi and South Korea, I'm guessing they could read this website and get the information they needed before they did it, right? Interesting. Now, like I said before, there's this card problem. All right, this card was showing a real number. All right, and this poor woman, I think it was multiple people were actually getting rung up with different numbers, right? Well, Squid Game Netflix to edit out key phone number from the gory series. I think at one point Australia's show wasn't edited out, but maybe it is now. But yeah, people that own these numbers were actually getting called, all hours of the morning kind of thing. Wow. There's a thing in America that Hollywood does with like a 1-800 number. They always do 1-800 bullshit numbers, right? And these numbers can never ever be connected to anything. So no matter what number they show you on screen, it will never be connected. But for whatever reason, South Korea, the TV show, the production company didn't do that. They must have just picked a random number or a couple of different random numbers and put them on the back of these cards, right? And yeah, people were ringing to be part of the show. Interesting. There's another website. This is a different version of that. North Korea blasts Squid Game and says it depicts capitalist culture at its worst. Interesting. Can you just imagine Kim Jong Un from North Korea watching this in his mansion and thinking, "Yes, I want to bomb South Korea someday, but until then, I'm just going to enjoy their content." He's actually known for actually liking Hollywood movies, I've heard. North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un. So, interesting. He likes watching shows. I wonder what he truly thought of it. Since it is his neighbor, South Korea, down below, making the show. Interesting. Think about it, right? But yes, the old dude. All right? The guy that died. But did he? No, he didn't, right? The clues are there. You all made this a good experience. Now, that was one of the things that he said before he was shot in that episode. Going back to this one again, I had to remember what I wrote down. I've written things on my tabs to remind myself to talk about them, right? But that was one of the last things he said, all right? He said, "You made all this a good experience." He was talking to 456. What's his fucking number again? I can't remember. But anyway, 456, right? He was talking to him and saying like he really enjoyed his experience in the games because, as it turned out, he was the mastermind. He was the front man, all right? He was the real man in charge. And, you know, as he said, he did have brain cancer. I'm guessing that's to be believed because he did die a year later at the very end of the last episode. He had brain cancer. And one of the last things he wanted to do was, you know, feel alive before he went. And he became a part of the show. And obviously, he knew what these things were going to be, right? He knew what you know, what this was going to be next, what that was going to be next. Now, there are many hints in the actual show where, if you pay attention, you would know that he was the man in charge, starting by his number. 001. He was literally the first player. Of course, our main character was the last player. That was his number, the last player. But that's just a huge hint that he was the man in charge, 001, right? So, okay. So here are some things, right? So here is the hidden Easter egg. Where are we? Okay, here is the hidden Easter egg in Squid Game that is going unnoticed by everyone. I noticed this on the second last show or the last show. 100% the last show, because in the last show you see this. But you technically can see this on a lot of episodes, just partially. What am I talking about? This. The writing is quite literally on the wall. Take a look at this. So when people die, the beds get taken out, right? And what's behind the beds? What is behind the beds? All right? We've got these little pictures on the walls. And there's just the last two before their final fight, right? Look at all the pictures on the walls. I mean, these pictures on the walls are depicting every game that will be taking place. There's red light, green light, tug of war. All right? We've got... I can't even pronounce that one, but there's the licking of the sugary thing, right? Trying to get the umbrella out. Geez, that was the absolute worst one to get out, right? The umbrella, the goddamn hardest. In fact, he said, "I am going to die." Thankfully, he didn't. But that was the 100% the hardest thing to do, right? Get the umbrella out of the sugary sweet. I'm assuming the easiest would have been the triangle, all right? And our second main character, I can't remember his name, the guy with the glasses, he obviously knew that. He had a feeling what the thing would be. All right. The North Korean defector went up into the air conditioning system and saw the sugary sweets kind of thing. And he kind of got that idea in his head that, hey, that might be what the game is. So he ended up picking the easiest pattern to get out. But of course, there was the glass bridge. All right. And yeah. There was quite literally, the writing was on the wall the whole time. And I found that really, really interesting when we saw that, right? Now, Squid Game showed us that it was the old man all along. Here are the clues you missed while watching. Interesting little thing. So we'll go down to here, right? So, okay. Where can we write this? Where can we read this one? Caught the old man cheating from the very first game, apparently. Red light, green light. While every player was scanned for movement, the old man was completely missed. So the doll was moving backwards and forwards, right, and scanning absolutely everyone. Now, if you look closely, everyone is scanned in green, representing that's a player. But the AI system wasn't scanning him. He was not scanned green. He was the only player to not be scanned, representing that he's not to be shot. Even if he was presented to be moving by the AI system, he would not be shot because they've programmed it that way. All right, interesting. Go back and check it. He's not scanned by the machine. Where can we do? So yes, as he's running, right, the guy's smiling. He's absolutely loving it. I remember I actually noticed that the first time we watched it, right? I was like, watching it with my GF, right? And I was like, Jesus, this guy's loving this, right? He's smiling, he's loving it. After everyone got shot and murdered, he was the first to move twice, right? He kind of reassured everyone that, hey, we can start running again, just not when the doll's looking, right? So, and he did that twice. And then everyone started running after that kind of thing. So yeah, he knew what to do and he was absolutely loving it, right? He was experiencing this murderous game that he'd probably seen, 10, 20 times, depending how long the show's been running for, right? Interesting. Now, when the South Korean police officer sneaked into the room, right, where the files were being held, he opened up a book, and the first page on the book was 002. Not 001, but 002. So because 001, the old man, wasn't officially a part of the game. He was the billionaire boss in charge, right? He didn't want to be a part of the history books of who played, right? So, yeah, the first player in this book is 002. The writing is quite literally on the wall, so to speak. Interesting little clues, right? Now, this is another one, right? Remember when the old man peed himself while everyone was sleeping? Did you miss the empty water bottle to his left, right? Now, here's a theory that the old man purposely poured the water on himself as a test to see if his best friend would help him during his time in need. And he did. He gave him his jumper, remember? I think he gave him his jumper and put it around, right? There we go. He truly made a friend in life before, he exited the game. But he wasn't shot, obviously. Interesting. So the water bottle was there, right? Everyone was fooled by the old man. Absolutely they were. Now going to the last one, Squid Game 2. Well, at the very end of Squid Game, the main character, whose name I will not try and pronounce because I will be absolutely butchering it, right? He goes on an airplane to see his daughter in Los Angeles, all right? He flies to LA kind of thing, right? But then, moments earlier kind of thing, we had seen him at the subway station where we saw the businessman trying to get more people back into the game a year later, right? And he ran up the stairs and ran down the stairs to the other side of the station to basically confront this man, possibly beat him to death or something, But of course he escaped on the train and he went, right? But it just goes and represents that the game is still active. Now the businessman was trying to recruit, right? Our main character, he took the business card off of him and said, don't play the fucking game kind of thing. So then our main character, before he went on the airplane, he ended up calling the company, the murderous company, right? And they said, go on the airplane and don't look back kind of thing, right? Which just goes to show that the company is still keeping tabs on our main character, the winner, after 1 year. Like, this company's got a lot of money, right? All the employees that they pay, the island that they owe, the infrastructure in place, the prize money, like this is a $1 billion company we're talking about here. And they've been doing this kind of shit for a long time. Possibly in more different countries, as not just South Korea, right? There's hints. One of those really, really rich dudes with those really cool face masks says something about, I can't remember what he says, but he hinted at his speech that there could be more games like this in different parts of the world. Interesting. Which brings up season 2, right? Because he doesn't go on the airplane. He potentially goes to try and stop this from happening again, right? So this brings out just not just season 2, but potentially different Squid Games for different countries. America, Australia. Interesting. Spin-off shows. It'd be interesting to see where this concept goes now that Netflix knows that they're absolutely onto a goddamn winner. Everyone loves this show, all right? So what do you think about the situation? Let me know in the comments down below. We're on Channel 2 and, of course, Channel 1. Our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That tall boy Gareth over there. That was a cool video. Wasn't quick, but it was cool. It was cool. I've been tall. My name's Gareth. I'll see you for tomorrow's video. Love yous. Bye.